Well, for all those that have been waiting, it is for good. It is not really for anything out of place. So I want to commend all those that have actually turned out for today's meeting. And I would say congratulations to Julie. I think the last time we spoke, she was there, and now I think she has added more responsibility, which makes it very, very good for anybody that wants to be a leader par excellence. She's been doing very well, and that is why I'm adding my voice to whatever she's doing in the Kenyan markets. We may benefit directly or indirectly from such markets, and also the brand benefits. So because the brand will benefit, there is need for us to collaborate from different parts of the world. So once again, I want to say thank you all for giving me this opportunity to share some few lecture notes with you and some tips and strategies on how you could actually tinker your business, not just the long reach business, but any business you are doing and any business you intend to do. If you put some of these things in practice, even though it's up to 40%, I can assure you, you will actually succeed beyond your imagination. So I will be sharing my slide with us. You can keep all your questions, just note down your questions with regards to team retention, team building. This topic is actually important and is compelling for every long reach member. If you must succeed, then you must apply the rules and the principle. So the beginning say hard work. If you look at what is happening here, you will know this is really, really hard work. But how many buckets, how many baskets are there to be filled? And why is it hard work? How long will it take to fill these baskets? 1 hour, 30 minutes? You will understand why this is called hard work. The survival of any organization depends on its ability to retain its existing customers. If you want your business to thrive, you may be a producer, a manufacturer, you may be a retailer, a wholesaler, whatever services you are rendering. If you cannot retain existing customers, that business is likely going to fold up. So, who are the customers here? Me and you, we are customers because we are customers to Longreach. Your team members are your customers, direct customers, because you benefit from their purchase. And the company enjoys profit when there is sales. So your team members, both new and old, are your customers. So if you have this as at the back of your mind, that your team members are your customers, then how will you treat your team members or your customers so that you retain them? Let us look at the definition of customer retention. Invariably, we can call it team retention. If you look at the picture there on the screen, you will see a chicken or a hen that is covering the chicks. That is maximum protection that can be given to those chicks. The essence of protecting is the chicken does not want any of the chicks to be lost. So for that to happen, they must be guided, they must be protected, they must be shielded from dangers, from anything that will harm them. This is exactly what team retention is all about. Customer retention refers to the ability of a company or product to retain its customers over some specific period of time. Now, for us to go into the team retention, we will use these 4 questions that has to do with love for the brand, word of mouth marketing, value for money, and repeat purchase. The first one is love for the brand. What is the level of emotional connect with the target consumers? Now, you have team members that are doing the business with you. The first thing I want to say is, how many of your team members use the product? How many of your team members will say, if I don't see this product, I cannot use another product? What is the in-depth, what is the degree of love for the particular product? Because it starts from there. There must be love for the brand. The second question is, does the team member recommend your products to family and friends? Because if you love the brand, if you love the products, how many times have you talked about your product or recommend it for your family and friends? Because these are question marks are waiting to be answered by you, the team lead, and also your team members, if retention must hold. Value for money. Are the prices of the product competitive, or is it overpriced as compared to others? Now, you have to look at when you mean competitive, it has to be among its categories, among its segments, because if you go to China, for example, the Longreach supermarket, you discover that Longreach has over 10 types of toothpaste, more than 10, and the prices are different. So for you to compare prices, it means the quality and the class of toothpaste have to be the same. Do you actually impart on your team members what value the product gives to them, and also it can give to their prospective customers or leads? So we must be sure that, yes, our products are not overpriced and it is competitive enough when matched with its categories in other XYZ companies. The fourth question here is satisfying the customer or satisfactory customer service given along with incentives to buy again. This is where repeat order comes in. If your team members, you and team members are using the products every day because they are fast-moving consumer goods, if you and your team members use the Longreach products daily, it means you will be buying repeatedly. And that is why there is this maintenance bonus in Longreach. Every month, do your 30 PV or more. And that 30 PV is just not because you want to earn, you want to assess incentives, you want to assess your leadership bonus, but because you love the brand, so you cannot do without using the products. Then you like to buy again because of incentives you get. So when you do your 30 PV retail order, is there any incentives attached to it? Yes, there is incentives. What is that incentives? There is leadership bonus access, there is retail bonus access, and your shares, travel incentives, your Diamond 6 incentive, which is your marketing plan car incentives, and your house fund incentives of Diamond 7. Of course, that of the VIP is in 2 ways. The month you don't earn a bonus, you could use the 30 PV retail order to access your VIP shares. But the month you earn bonuses, your shares will definitely come out. So these 4 questions are begging for answers from your team members. Sit with your team members and put these 4 questions before them. What is the level of emotional connect with the target consumers? Because if you as a leader, you don't know the love for the brand that your team members are portraying, definitely you will have challenges. If your team members are not recommending the products to their friends and relatives, then it means your business, sales from your team will die. If you don't educate your team members about the value your products can give and how competitive it can be in the open market, it means your team will be less productive and you will not be able to keep them for long because they will switch. They will not know why they want to buy a particular toothpaste for this amount when they can get something lesser. Repeat order, if your team members are not doing their 30 PV retail orders, which is monthly, it means you have not done your job. Your team members are your customers here. Every potential prospect is a potential customer, also lead, but your customers are your team members. Why are they your team members? Number one, not all team members are business builders. Not all team members are retailers. So you have team members that are just consumers. They are your customers. So whenever they buy, it means sales comes from your tree. So these are the 4 questions that is begging for answers from your team if you must retain your team for a long time. Now, modern retention principles applied by successful brands. I don't want to mention names. Most successful brands, they have this retention principle they've applied and it worked for them. That is from my own research. Now they deliver seamless customer experience across all customer touch points. Now this is very fantastic. I will advise you here as a leader, try as much as possible to have a personal relationship with stockists because these are the touch points for your team members, especially the new ones that are coming in. If they don't get good customer service experience from the stockists, they can be dissuaded from that very beginning. So ensure you build a relationship across borders with as many stockists as you can, so that when a team member says, I need a stockist in the chat room or the chat group, so I need a stockist in this location, who can help me? You, the team lead, the admin, immediately you say, oh, meet this person, tell this person I sent you. And you call that stockist and say, please attend to my customer or my prospect. He wants to do this, or my team member, please treat the person well. And you know when that is done, it makes things easy for you. So which means you have to try as much as possible to always intervene in transactions of new prospects and team members for as much as you can according to your capability and ability and your knowledge. Secondly, successful brands adopt a more reactive real-time approach to customer communications. The customer is in control now and brands must respond quicker and more appropriately to them. Look, it is very, very important that you give value. The essence of giving value cannot be overfetched. Every customer wants value. And once you give value, it will help your business to retain such customer. Every customer wants a situation where when you ask a question or send a mail or send a message, there is a quick response. Customers like it so much. And that is why when you do certain things before a customer and you hear thank you from the customer, it means the customer has gotten value from you. The third one, unlock the power of content as a value creating resource. I just talked about value now. It is value the customer is looking for. Then for each of your products, try as much as possible to explain, to release information about your products. It is not enough to look at a product's name and just say this, but what are those benefits of your product? If you can break it down, it will be fine. Say much about your product. What does your product do? Say everything about your product, because sometimes it can give you the cutting edge over your competitors. Now, the fourth one is harnessing the power of social media to connect and empower customers. Oh, yes. Now, the social media is a very, very good means of communication and all that. If not for the social media, it would have been difficult for Julie to post a mail or send a mail to me through the post office. Then I will now receive it. This meeting was arranged in less than 48 hours. So, and this is what the social media does. You can begin to sell your products, your business, even your team. You could sell it over the social media. Now, use the social media to meet with your team members. So the question of, oh, my team is too large, I cannot reach out to the team that is in Uganda or Tanzania or South Africa is no longer there. The world is now a global village as a result of this. So you and team members, you must connect continuously. Your team members, like as I said, they are your customers. They are your customers. I'm using the word customers because I also use this for training of other company staffs and management executives. Leverage the moment in time and place personalization opportunities afforded by mobile interaction. Now, most successful brands, they leverage a lot. Now, you may have customers, you may have, partners, but now there is a need for you to always be personal, sometimes going above board. Use the technology within your confine. It could be Zoom, it could be mobile phone, it could be your whatever means of communication you normally use. Wherever you are, you can actually use that to reach out. Reaching out to your team members, reaching out to your leaders, trying to meet even with your sidelines and also with the management, the entire stakeholders that makes your business to grow. Is very important. You reach out and have some of this personal interaction through communication, physical or online meetings. Now, what are the fundamentals of marketing? You will agree with me that what we are doing in this industry is actually marketing. Sales involves marketing. Without marketing, you cannot make sales. So now, one, it is always easier to sell to existing customers than cold prospects. That is where I am going. Most of us have team members. We look at the numbers, but we forget that to get a new person, the existing partner under you needs your attention. If you pay more attention to your existing partners, they already understand why they are there. They are only waiting for you to work with them so that they can trigger, they can move, they can soar, they can achieve, just like the way you are growing. So this is just one of my strategy in this long reach business, the use of retention approach, where I have to work more on the existing partners than going for cold prospects. Because the time, the energy you put to get, is good to prospect, but make sure you spend more time training and impacting on your existing team members. You will get a good percentage of active people, which will actually deliver your goals for you, than going for new prospects who don't understand you. The time you spend and all that is not really worth it. But again, you must balance the two. You must prospect, but it's easier it is easier to keep on with your old existing customers, which are your team members, than neglecting them going for new ones. You may just end up like the man who is putting water in the basket. The supply is constant, but is the water staying? Is not staying. You know, I put some of these things in my book when I really dwell on this in the sales industry and in my chapter 12, and talking about the key check for business growth is the VVF, the value, the volume, and the frequency. Understand customer behaviors and attitude and develop deep insights into needs and motivation. You need to understand what your customer wants, and that can only happen when there is an interaction. If there is no interaction with your customers, with your team members, you don't know their need, you don't know what they want, you don't know when they are low in morale, you cannot motivate them to do more. So these are certain things you need to pay attention to with your existing team members. Focus on key customer segments. You need to know what your team members are. If you did not do that when you just started the business, when you just getting these people into your get them sign up, then you can still do it now. It's not late. Know what your team members do. Know those who are consumers. Know those who are just retailers, buying and sellers. Know those who are also building teams. If you can segment them, it will help you to work with the different people. Be innovative and creative in developing and testing new value-creating initiatives. Be innovative and creative in developing and testing new value-creating initiatives. Now, you need to come up with new strategies. I keep saying business is a game of shares. You don't move one particular direction. When you come up with a strategy and you test run the strategy is not working, you change, innovate, come up with new ideas. Now, Jim Rohn will say, always put your thoughts into action. You know, some of these thoughts, they are innovative, but you need to test them out. You need to try them out before you can, excuse me. You need to test new things in trying to grow your team, in trying to make them, get inspired and motivated. Promos could be one of those, rewards for diligence, reward for always showing up. You could actually bring them in. It helps to motivate a team. Design customers' journeys that coordinate interactions throughout the customer life cycle and make it easy for customer to meet their needs at each stage. Now, I will want to encourage everybody here, always have meetings with your team. Always have training sessions with your team. It's very, very important. And also don't play the hero. Try to have group leads at different levels. You could have team leaders in Diamond 2, you could have team leaders in Diamond 4, you could have team leaders in Diamond 5, 6, or 7, even star director if you have them under you. That is not even enough. You also need to meet with the team leads and also find a way to ensure that they are having a smooth pilgrimage in this journey. The journey is a journey that is full with so many challenges. There are challenges. You are not assuming, but you don't know the challenges. But when you start training these people, having interactions through the leaders you have just made, that will help you to be able to take the team to a greater height while still retaining majority of them. The sixth one is use personalization as a competitive differentiator. Oh yes, what this one is telling us is this. Make a difference irrespective of what others are doing. Even though others are doing what you are doing, what you can use to make a difference here is your personal relationship with your team members. How much have you been able to plow back to your team members? When I mean plow back, that is try to reach out to them, visit some of them personally, For the past 1 month, I've gone around 15 cities in the UK, visiting team members that I've not met before, but have been very consistent with the business and all that. It's all about personalization here, and this can actually set somebody different from others. Everybody has a way of building his team. In team building, personalization cannot be thrown away. You have to know your team members and let them know you and tell them how you intend to work and where you people are going. You see, it goes beyond, when are you bringing PVs? When are you going to give us PVs? You are not working, you are not doing anything. Then you will ignore them. No, you don't know what struggles they are going through. You see, when you show concern, when you show up for them, knowing how their well-being is going through, whatever they are passing through, and you are there for them, not because you want to ask them, you must make PVs for me, you must make PVs for the team, you must make PVs for yourself. Everybody wants the best for his or herself. But when they have certain things that is, emotionally shaking them off their feet, and you don't care about that, then it means you will definitely not retain such a team member. When the team member gets over his challenges, he will leave that team and move on and even leave the brand completely. So sometimes your personal relationship with your team members go a long way for you to retain that team members. I have a couple of leaders in my team. They visit their members when they are doing birthday, when they give child dedication, when they lose somebody, when they are bereaved and all that. At different points in time, they are always there for the team members, and it's very good. You adopt that method. You may be a pre-diamond, is not enough to say I'm not a leader. You are a leader automatically. The moment you come on board, you're already a leader. So develop a team. These are the concluding facts on retention. Number one, it is 5 to 7 times more expensive to acquire a new customer than to keep an old one. Number two, there is a cost every time a company loses a customer. So whenever you lose a team member, there is a cost. You have lost something. Loyal team members are worth up to 10 times as much as their first purchase. When you have one loyal team member, it's like you whatever the team member is doing is like worth 10 times more than what he did the first time. Yes, of course, because a loyal team member definitely will be following the duplication series. And when he follows the duplication series or principle, what does that mean? Everybody that is coming on board is signing up. He may not bring the PV, but he's bringing people that are bringing PVs. The fourth one is studies have shown over 86% of consumers quit doing business with a company because of a bad customer experience. This is more of the management level, but at the same time, as a team lead, you are a co-partner, co-owner with the company. So you are distributing the products while the company produces. So it is your duty to ensure that a customer's experience is protected from the negative. So irrespective of what the customer must have seen, you are to ensure you assure that customer that you are going to solve it, you listen, and at the same time, you must render proper service to that customer. And this makes it the value you are creating for your brand, for your team, and for your leadership. Studies have also shown that 78% of online customers recommend a brand to friends and other contacts after a great customer experience. I want to assure you and tell you the truth. The fact here is we are doing online business. The Longbridge business is an e-commerce business. And e-commerce means it's an online business. If you open your portal, top left, you will see e-commerce. It is an e-commerce platform. So it means the tendency, the potentials of doing referrals online is very, very high, and also getting contact. So you can harness the social media again for this. So since statistics have shown that online customers recommend a brand to friends and other contacts, then begin to teach your team how they can recommend their brand. You see, most times when you go online to the social media, you see a whole lot of things people do. You see why they don't get prospects or they don't get leads, or they are not able to convert their leads to what? To customer, because you must convert your leads to customer before they become downlines or possibly team members. So what you do is always showcase the value of your products. It is the products they are coming after, the benefits of the products. Let me give you people one assignment. You don't need to report back to me, report back to yourself and find out if what I said is true. Post, come and join my business in your WhatsApp status. Just put, join my business and qualify for car, and you will make money and you become millionaire, billionaire in 1 year. After 24 hours, count how many views or how many people, or put it in Facebook and how many people will check it out. But get your panty liner and put the health benefit of your panty liner there and see if you will not get 1 or 2 persons to tell you, please, how much is it? How can I get it? You see the difference? It is from your products you begin to get people who will become eventually loyal to your brand. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Now, I want to round off with this. As a long-range partner, what is expected of you? What is expected of you is very simple. Just be very, very concerned about your team. Always bear in mind that it is about sales. And the sales is about consumption. Consumption of products that the company is producing. Don't worry about the rank movements. Worry about sales of your products. When you are concerned about sales of your products, then you will be concerned about the customer's experience. And if you are concerned about the customer's experience, then automatically what you are now trying to think about is, how do I solve the problems of my customers? How do I solve the problems of my team members? Believe you me, if your team members, if you have 500 team members, these are people that have used your brand before. Now, if 300 of your team members do 30 PV retail order, it means they are loyal to the brand. And they are using the products on daily basis, weekly basis, and all that. It will definitely get finished, and they will buy again. So you see the power of retention. You see, you want these people that are already using the products, people that are already known to the products, let them use the products continuously. And while you are telling them to use the product continuously, what are you making available for them? What incentives that will make them to look down on other brands and say, no, I am sticking to this brand? You know, it's not easy for people to, for you to get a customer from another competitor to come and switch to your brand. It is difficult, but it is what they stand to gain. And that is why I said value, volume. And in that volume, without the volume, your value will not be able to make currency flow towards you. And even though you have the value, you have the volume, if there is no repeat, the sales will not also meet up with what your target is. So, in a nutshell, are you creating value in your team? It is the value in your team that will keep your team members going. And not only that, when you create value in your team, let's take, for example, I want to do an analogy here. If sugar is money, if ant is money we are looking for is currency. Now, if I want to get ants, what do? I will go and create sugar. So when I create sugar, ants will naturally flow into where the sugar is, which means my value here is the sugar. So once I create the value, which is sugar, you see ants coming. So create value. And for you to create value, 3 steps: services, listen, and solving problems. The others you will find in my book. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate this time you've given me, and God bless. Julie, thank you.
Wow, that was powerful. I mean, like, I don't know why SDM's presentation always have to be so short, because that was just 20 minutes. Yeah, so that is so much value from SDM. I mean, like, with the thing with retention, I think it's pretty clear on the fact that, one, your team members are your greatest customers. Number two, the product, what matters the most is the moving of the product. Yeah, so basically when the product is moving in your network, and also having your team members become true brand ambassadors for the product, then that basically helps to not only move the business, but to also help the team members find value in that particular item that generates sales and also helps with income. So